Hey everyone! Today we're putting out a substantial update for Salvation. We've gotten plenty of feedback since we released the mod, and have aimed to address it. It's worth noting that a lot of the feedback is about better executing what Salvation should be, so by and large changes to the mod's difficulty are minimal tweaks aimed at rounding out the experience, not changing it totally. There's plenty of other edits great and small. We'll be providing summaries here, but you can check out the full list of changes on the ModDB article or in the file description. Salvation 01 had the least feedback of any map, but we've still made some small tweaks to round out visuals and fix a rare softlock at a level transition. From here, though, the changes to levels are much more drastic. Salvation 02's biggest problem was framerate, and thanks to considerable optimizations, in the church and outside portions in particular, performance across the entire map is vastly improved. Yet again, more fixes and refinements to prevent massive sequence breaks and reduce rough edges have led to a general improvement on the map's replayability, and because some players were struggling in the first challenging map of the mod, a handful of extra pickups have been sprinkled around to ease people into the experience more.
Salvation 03 received a ton of little fixes, removing leftover geometry from RTBR, adding and modifying player clips to prevent out-of-bounds exploits, tweaks to a few encounters to make them flow a little better in gameplay, and a new kick door at the start of the map that further encourages new players to make use of their tertiary fire.
Salvation 04 also lacked lots of feedback, but one major criticism was performance again. The map has been optimized anew with consideration of the new areas to make sure framerate remains more consistent throughout, and other minor fixes should result in generally smoother gameplay in this map.
One major problem with Salvation 05 was player guidance, and many fixes have been implemented to guide the player more smoothly to their objectives. That being said, tweaks have also been made to the encounter that should make it a little less of a difficulty spike, whilst also inheriting many fixes like missing collisions on some props and a more refined credits section that will see deathless players rewarded in advance of the credits instead of afterwards. A few additional visual elements, like a refined Annabelle sighting in this map that was quite easy to miss before, should mean there's things to find even for experienced players.
Lastly, we saw feedback that the previous iteration of the post-completion background map didn't feel quite ruined enough to make Grigori's efforts throughout Ravenholm apparent, so destruction was turned up considerably. Ash piles were added throughout, and the overall atmosphere was darkened. Ravenholm is purged to the very foundations, but at what cost?
And that's it for our summation of 1.1. With dozens of changes, gameplay rebalances, and overall refinements, we hope many feel their feedback has been accounted for. If you left a review on the 1.0 release, consider replaying Salvation for 1.1 and amending your review accordingly. And in the meantime, we appreciate the response to our first spin-off's release. It's certainly striking a chord with people, and we're glad it's generating great conversation about strategy and tactics. We won't be advertising for recruitment in this update, so that's all for now. Enjoy the patch, and we'll see you again in the near future.